Yo, what's up, Virgo? Welcome to monthly forecast for the month of May 2018, Virgo. So there's a lot of important astrology happening again this month, and there's a new moon mid-month, and then on the same day, actually, Uranus will be changing signs, and this is really epic. This doesn't happen very often. So you're entering a whole new chapter, and this has to do with the spiritual aspect of your life. It also has to do with faraway places and foreign cultures. I'm going to get more into that later in the forecast. And then there's a full moon at the end of the month. But the sun is going to be in an area for you, Virgo, throughout the month of May 2018. This area has to do with faraway places. It has to do with foreign cultures, people who are from prominent heritages. It has to do with spirituality. So there's a lot of stuff that falls under this area. And just because the sun is in this area doesn't mean that all Virgos are going to start going to faraway places. No, well, yeah, some of you might. So in the first 3 weeks of May, this is a good time, Virgo. I mean, if you can, this is a good time to vacation somewhere far away or go somewhere far away or have some sort of culturally enriching experience. Now, if that's not possible for you, then you should go somewhere that's culturally diverse somewhere in the first 3 weeks of May. And potentially some of you might have people in your life who are from cultural backgrounds that are different from yours. You might be interacting with this group of people more than you usually do, and you're gonna see this prevalent in the first 3 weeks of May for some of you. Now, for others of you, this might have to do with the spiritual aspect of your life. So you're getting more into spirituality more than you ever have before. Maybe you're checking out astrology online more, maybe tarot or numerology, or for those of you who are into organized religion, you're going to be into organized religion more than you usually are. Something that has to do with spirituality potentially for some of you is going to be really prevalent the first 3 weeks of May 2018. The sun's going to shift on May 20th, and it's going to shift into an area that has to do more with your career. So following May 20th, put your professional hat on. It's time to get down to business. There's going to be more of a focus on authority figures, clients, co-workers. So just more of a focus on your professional life in general following May 20th. But those are the main themes for you, Virgo, for the month of May 2018. Now I'm going to talk about some more specific major astrological events that are set to occur this month and what they mean for you. Right off the bat on May 1st, Venus will aspect Saturn, which is retrograding. And this one is good for, if you are single and you are attracted to somebody in the workplace, this could be a connection that you can make with somebody who you know via your this could be a connection you can make if you know somebody via your professional life. So if you are into somebody and you're single, then maybe this is an indication that you should try to interact with this person, or try to move things to more of a romantic level, as long as it's good with both parties. So if you are feeling attracted to somebody, then I would say, especially if you're single, make an effort. Now if you're coupled up and you're not available and there's no one at work, then these are potentially adjustments that you can make regarding creative way. Basically, this is you trying to find creative solutions to resolve ongoing issues in your career. So Venus is creativity, so get creative. If there's anything that in your career that you felt kind of stuck with, try to really use your ingenuity to find some way around an obstacle or to overcome it potentially. On May 6th, the sun will aspect Neptune. And this one is good for, this is very specific. I mean, some of you Virgos really should take a trip somewhere far away. I mean, because what I'm seeing here with the planets is there is some sort of correlation between, it either has to do with faraway places, or for some of you, it might have to do with, there's someone local who's from a cultural background that's different from yours. For others of you, it might have to do with spirituality. So this one suggests relationships. So if you know somebody who's from a cultural background, who's different from yours, who you're interested in for a relationship, then this might be a good day to make a connection with that person. Or maybe they're from a prominent heritage of some sort. Or, maybe some of you really are connecting with someone who's from a distant location. So, maybe they're not from a cultural background that's different from yours, but potentially maybe you really are connecting with somebody, a select few of you. It's very specific. A select few of you might be connecting with somebody. Like, think about where you were born, and then think about where the person or interested in relationship, or maybe you are in a relationship with this person already for some of you, but you might be from places that are far away from each other, and this could be a positive aspect for making that type of connection right around May 6th. On May 11th, the Sun will aspect Pluto. And this one is similar to the aspect I just talked about, but it has more to do with the romantic dimension. It even gets into the erotic and sexual dimension a little bit more, because you have Pluto, which is in the mix. So Pluto is retrograding on May 11th. It'll aspect the Sun. Once again, if you're single, this is a great time for you to connect with someone who's from a cultural background that's different from yours, or they have a prominent heritage of some sort. Or, like I said, potentially some of you, like, you're born in this place and they're born in this place, and these places are far away from each other. And, now you can connect somehow, or maybe some of you are connected already. On May 15th, there's a new moon in this area that has to do with, for you, it has to do with faraway places, foreign cultures, spirituality. So there's going to be some new developments coming in for some of you in the 6 months that follow May 15th. That's how the new moon works. So I'm not saying all Virgos are going to go jet setting to a distant location in the 6 months that follow May 15th. But yeah, maybe some of you are. And if you don't have anything planned yet, maybe you should plan something, because it's going to be a really enriching experience for you. Now, for others of you, potentially something that has to do with a foreign culture may be more prominent in your life in the 6 months that follow May 15th. Others of you, this is you really getting into spirituality. Maybe you're going on, maybe you're looking at astrology every day now all of a sudden, or, if you're into organized religion, maybe you're looking at that more consistently in the 6 months that follow May 15th. Now, here's the big one. On May 15th, also, Uranus is changing signs. And this is very rare. I mean, Uranus doesn't change signs very often, and when it does, it's just starting a whole new chapter for you, Virgo. So Uranus, I'm going to talk about how it's going to transit the sky first, and then I'll talk about what it means astrologically. But Uranus will move into your sector of faraway places, foreign culture, spirituality on May 15th. It will begin to retrograde in this area on August 7th. And then on November 6th, it'll retrograde so much that it moves out of that area and back into your sector of shared resources. This sector also has to do with business deals, contracts, negotiations. But then eventually it's going to move. It's going to stop retrograding, and it's going to start to move forward again. And it's going to move forward so much that eventually it's going to be in your sector of faraway places, foreign culture, spirituality, until April 26, 2026. So this is a whole new chapter for you. So all the way up until April 26, 2026, once again, I'm not saying a bunch of Virgos are going to start flying all over the world or whatever, but this is indicative of, maybe some of you really are going to be traveling to faraway places between now and April 26, 2026. Some of you really are, and potentially, like, Uranus is futuristic. So, think about places that have really futuristic buildings and architecture, and some of you might be going to city, like, think about Dubai. I'm not saying all Virgos are going to Dubai, but those buildings are very futuristic looking. So some of you could really be visiting distant places that are a little bit more futuristic in their architecture, or have like advancements in technology that are very forward thinking. And for others of you, if this is not the case, between now and April 2026, while Uranus is in this area for you, there could be more of a diverse mix of people in your life, between now and the date that I just mentioned, all up until 2026. You could notice that there's people from different cultures that are coming into your life. It's more prevalent. People with prominent heritages are, really starting to stand out to you. Now for others of you, this is, Uranus is technology. So some of you really could be jumping online and looking at a lot of spiritual material online from now and until 2026. So somehow spirituality and technology is, coming together as one in your life, and this is a whole epic chapter. Some of you might even make a routine out of it potentially. So I'm not saying it's going to happen for all of you, but for some of you, yes. On May 18th, Mercury will aspect Saturn. This is a good one for establishing a romance. Like if you're single, establish a romance with someone who's from a cultural background that's different from yours, or it's with somebody who's from a distant location, or potentially somebody spiritual. On May 22nd, Jupiter will aspect Chiron. Someone's being a little bit oversensitive, potentially in a shared resource situation. Maybe you, maybe somebody else. The conversations are, I don't know, maybe somebody's just making a bigger deal out of something than it really needs to be. On May 26th, Venus will oppose Saturn, which is retrograding. So if you like somebody online or on social media, you might like them, but it might be difficult to make the connection maybe. For others, maybe if you're, maybe for some of you, online dating would be good if you're single for a while, but May 26th just might not be the day to make that connection. And then on May 29th, there's a full moon. This full moon has to do with, potential development in your home life. It doesn't have to be a shift, but, something might come up in your home life, or, potentially this has to do with something in your family. And you could see a shift there, So think of anything that could change potentially in your home life or your family situation. I mean, there's so many different possibilities. Do you want to move? If not, is somebody moving in? Is somebody moving out? Those are specific examples. That's not going to resonate for everybody like that. All of a sudden, maybe some of you are going to see some family. So it's going to be different for all of you. You have to see how it resonates for your life specifically. But thank you for watching this video, Virgo. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe, share, and like. I'm on Instagram, Gregory Furlan Astrology. And I'll see you next month. Have a good one. Take care.